Hello and welcome once again to Storytime. I'm Miss Hannah, and guess what? It's a new theme. Our theme for this time is autumn. Can you say autumn? Good job. Autumn means fall time. Can you think of some things that happen in fall? Go ahead and tell me. Oh, yeah, that does happen. Well, for me, I like to watch the leaves change, and I like to eat apples. So those are a couple things we're going to talk about today. Would you like to read with me? Let's do it. My first book is called Fall is Not Easy, and it is by Marty, Kelley. And it's silly. I need you to look how silly it is here in a minute. Winter is easy. My branches are bare. Then the snow starts to melt and spring's in the air. Springtime is easy. Green leaves start to grow. Do you see the little leaves? The spring rings followed by summer sun glow. Look at how big his leaves are getting. Summer is easy. Just bask in the sun. How pretty his leaves are. Doesn't want to turn on me. The breezes blow cooler and summer is done. Fall is not easy. It's time for a change. Green leaves turn to colors, but mine looks strange. This isn't right. And this is just wrong. You see the happy face? Goodness, he can't get it right, can he? My colors won't go where I think they belong. You got polka dots and stripes. This one looks like a candy cane to me. My leaves should be fire, all brilliant and bright. Got a hamburger, and this one looks like the world, doesn't it? Goodness, such a silly tree. I try and I try, but they won't turn out right. Look, we got, looks like cow print or Dalmatian print, and this one says, eat at Joe's. And just when my patience begins to wear thin. Oh, we got a jack-o'-lantern. Oh, he might finally got it right. My leaves all fall off, and winter blows in. Winter is easy. Was that so silly? Could he get his leaves to go the right color? No. How silly is that? Do you want to do a leaf rhyme and song with me? Let's do it. Let's do a leaf rhyme. Here we go. It's going to go. All the leaves are falling down, falling down, falling down. All the leaves are falling down. It is fall. Can you do that again with me? Here we go. Here we go. All the leaves are falling down, falling down, falling down. All the leaves are falling down. It is fall. Got all these leaves now. What do I need to do? You rake them up. So we're going to take a rake and rake them up. Rake them up. Rake them up. Take a rake and rake them up. It is fall. Still some more leaves. I should rake them up again. Take a rake and rake them up. Rake them up. Rake them up. Take a rake and rake them up. It is fall. You know what we should do now? Make a pile and jump in. Ready? Make a pile and jump right in. Jump right in. Jump right in. Make a pile and jump right in. It is fall. Should we do it again? Make a pile and jump right in. Jump right in. Jump right in. Make a pile and jump right in. It is fall. Do you think we should do all of them together? Yes, let's do it. Here we go. All the leaves are falling down, falling down, falling down. All the leaves are falling down. It is fall. Take a rake and rake them up. Rake them up, rake them up. Take a rake and rake them up. It is fall. Make a pile and jump right in. Jump right in. Jump right in. Make a pile and jump right in. It is fall. read a book about apples. Okay? Let's go. Are you ready to read an apple book with me? All right, let's do it. This book is called The Biggest Apple in Ever, and it's by Kroll. Pages are being stubborn today. Once there were two mice who fell in love with the same apple pie, but you had to be there to see how it happened. On opening day at Mouseville School, the principal, Mr. Mouser, made an announcement. We're going to be learning about apples this fall, and to get things started, we will have a contest. Whoever brings the biggest apple to their teacher will win a special prize. The judging will take place on Friday. Good luck, everyone! I have an apple tree in my backyard, said Penelope. I bet it has really big apples. Penelope? There's an apple tree across the street from my house, said James. I'm going to climb it as soon as I get home. I don't have any apple trees, said Clayton the house mouse, but I'm going to find Mrs. Mousley the biggest apple ever. No, you're not, said his friend Desmond, the field mouse. I am. Oh, yeah, said Clayton. Yeah, said Desmond. On the way home on the school bus, Clayton and Desmond talked about the contest. Maybe I could grow an apple tree with really big apples, said Clayton. That takes too long, said Desmond. I heard Miss Mousley say 6 years. That is a long time. I'll think of something, said Clayton. So will I, said Desmond. When Clayton got off the bus, he sneaked back into town to see what Penelope and James were up to. Penelope had come down from her tree. She was carrying 2 tiny apples. See, there's Penelope. James was still up in the tree across the street. He was picking very small apples. There's James. Clayton knew he had seen bigger ones at the market. When Desmond came by a little later, he realized the same thing. The next day at school, Penelope and James brought their tiny apples. No one else had brought anything. Mrs. Mousley cleared her throat. Class, we have a lot of work to start this year, but because we're learning about apples and having the apple contest, we will go to Barnaby's orchard this afternoon. Everybody got excited. I'm going to find the winning apple, said Clayton. I'm going to find the winning apple, said Desmond. At the orchard, Mrs. Mousley pointed at the different types of apples. Everyone disappeared into the trees looking for a winner. Clayton walked down one, craning his neck. Desmond walked down another row, craning his neck. They're looking all around. Then Clayton saw what he thought was a really big apple. It was a little too high to reach, but he stretched for it, stretch. At that moment, Desmond saw the same apple on this very same branch. He stretched for it too, stretch. They bumped heads and fell down. I think we should bring this apple together, said Clayton. No one said we couldn't, said Desmond. But as they got on the bus, James had an apple that was even bigger. Look how big James's apple is. Is that big? It is. The apple was so big he could hardly carry it. Clayton and Desmond looked at each other. What would they do now? They wanted to win, didn't they? That night at dinner, Clayton had explained his problem to his dad. Said Dad. Apples don't come in too many sizes. Do you think you could find a bigger one? I don't know, said Clayton. Maybe James will win the prize this time. It's okay if he does. Over at Desmond's house, Uncle Vernon had said the exact same thing. But Clayton and Desmond were still determined. The next afternoon, they met at Barnaby's orchard. They picked 2 huge baskets of apple, but nothing they found was bigger than the one James had picked. You know, said Clayton, I think Dad was right. This time James gets to win. But why don't we get all these apples and why don't we bake an apple pie? Desmond laughed. Great! Let's bake the biggest apple pie ever! And we'll bring it for our class. Clayton nodded. I think that I know where to find a pie pan that's just big enough. Do you know how they're going to bake that big of a pie? It's going to be huge. The following afternoon, Desmond arrived at Clayton's house with Uncle Vernon. Everything's packed up and ready, Clayton. It's all in Dad's truck. But where are we going? Desmond asked. You'll find out in a minute. Dad drove with Clayton and Desmond beside him in the front seat. Uncle Vernon stayed in the back with the apples and other ingredients for the giant pie. As they came around the corner, Desmond gasped, Tony's Pizza! Do you see the pizza parlor? Right there. Of course, said Clayton. Where could we find, what could be better than a giant pizza pan? Mr. Tony greeted them at the door. Welcome, welcome! We are ready to begin. And so they got to work, making the dough for the crust, kneading it, and rolling it out into a big circle, and spreading it all over the deep dish. Then they peeled and sliced the apples and mixed together all the sugar and spices and spread the rest of the dough on top. Wow, said Clayton and Desmond when they were finished. Wow, wow, wow! An hour, said Mr. Tony. Give me an hour. The giant pan would just fit into his huge oven. You see the pie right there? It's the start of a pie. The next day was Friday. Who would have the large apple? James, of course. James's apple. And Mr. Mouser handed him the prize, cheddar cheese apple. Mrs. Mouser looked surprised. Clayton, Desmond, nothing from you? The two of them grinned. At the same moment, the classroom door flew open. It was Clayton's dad and Uncle Vernon and Mr. Tony struggling to carry the giant pie by themselves. Look how big that is. How wonderful, said Mrs. Mousley. The biggest apple pie ever. We made it for the whole class, said Clayton. All of us together, said Desmond. They shared a high five. High five. And everyone in the class had a very big slice. That's so much fun, isn't it? They made an apple pie just for their class. Would you do the big word with me? Excellent. The big word for this unit is autumn, and it means fall time. Can you do it with me? We're going to do it 3 times because that's how many times it takes to get into our brains. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Autumn, fall time. 1, 2, 3. Autumn, fall time. One more time. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Autumn, fall time. Good job. I have a special activity to show to your adults and you, so let's do that real quick. One of the special activities that we did was to have an apple tasting. My favorite was the yellow and red ones, and so I colored my apple that color. Maybe one of your friends will like a green one, or maybe they'll like the red ones and they'll color an apple that color. And you can print these off. These are super easy, adults, and then you can have an apple tasting, see which ones you like best. Now, we'll see you next time with more fall activities, okay?